morning. First of all, I want to introduce myself. I am Crystal, coming to you all with Crystal's Coffee and Conversation. This is an opportunity for me and others to share real stories about real things that have happened in our life and the way that we not only deal with it, but overcome it. If I can't do anything else, I definitely want to uplift and encourage people and just allow people to see something that may give them hope or may inspire them to carry on and continue to push and continue to dream. Y'all already know I'm a big dreamer. I believe in dreaming those big dreams because I serve a big God. So with all of that being said, I'm super duper excited to have my very first guest on Crystal's Coffee and Conversation. His name is John. However, I know him as Mr. Grind Time Fitness. And if you're on social media, that's also what you will know him as. So I want you all to welcome him with me, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. Mr. John, Grind Time Fitness, I want to welcome you first of all. How are you?
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm welcome. I'm excited that you welcome me into the Coffee and Conversation platform. I'm excited to see the fruition of what your vision is.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you for taking time out to do this. So I follow you, of course, on Instagram. But for people who may not be on Instagram, just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do in your day-to-day life. Who are you?
Okay. I'm first, I'm 31. I'll be 32 Tuesday. I've been in business for 6 years now. I started outside, and all of this came from the word from God. Like my gym and stuff was prophesied over me. And so Prophet Todd Hall actually came to our church, and it was the first time he met me and I met him. And he stopped during his sermon and looked over at me, and he said, "You know what? Hold on, y'all." He says, "I don't know what you do." He said, "But God is going to make you a rich man in the area of fitness, and then from there, you can go around the world just doing, God's work." And since then, that word has not returned void. God gave me that word, and 6 years later, I started with one person outside, and then that one person turned into 7 people, into 12, into 21, into now over 400 members. Our gym now, it's crazy, man, how God did it. We're completely debt free, so we don't owe nobody but God.
Praise break.
Praise
break. It's funny that you say that. The church I attend, in 9 years, our church has managed through tithes and offering to pay off a brand new church building. So we just celebrated that not long ago. So
it's beautiful.
That debt free. I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
But if you don't mind me asking, you said it was spoken over your life. So when you received that prophetic word, had you been thinking about being a fitness coach or a personal trainer? Was that something you already saw for yourself?
Yeah, actually, I did. I was working out with a group of my friends for some years, and we always talked about what we wanted to do in the fitness game. And so one of my buddies would talk about how he wanted to be a bodybuilder. And at this time, he was a little bigger, and then, he actually ended up becoming a professional bodybuilder. And I talked about wanting to own a gym where I would work the crap out of people, but I would also be nice to them. You know what I'm saying? I would do crazy stuff like turn the heat up in there during the summertime, in the summer months, and work them for real. But it's like, I'm gonna be praying for him too. And so it was so crazy that, my buddy, he went his way and created his thing, and so did I. And it was just crazy. I had the name and everything already. Just didn't have the word yet. Yeah.
Wow. I'm telling you, that is confirmation. Let me say that first of all. Before God gave me the vision, he gave me the name and the love for coffee. So I didn't quite understand it, but I appreciate you saying that. But let me ask you, as you were building, you said you started off with one person. When you had just that one person, did you keep that vision in mind the entire time? Did you get discouraged? Did you say, this is not what I thought it was going to be? Like, how were you feeling with just one?
No, to be honest, God was, putting more on my plate that I can understand. I thought that just one person was just one person. This is before I have, I had built my faith for real. Like I had
Okay.
faith in God, but I had never seen him do nothing crazy. I hadn't been sick,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? So I just trusted him, but it's like trust has levels, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
my
That's
trust level at this point was a little, it's like, all right, God, well, you ain't never done nothing for me like this.
right.
So I got this one person. I'm gonna just train this person the best I can. And I look up and I got 21 women outside
Right.
working out in the humidity, you know what I'm saying, with their
Mm-hmm.
hair and everything.
Right.
It was
Without hair, that's
crazy. Yeah, man, it's so crazy. I look up and I'm like, okay, Lord, what is this? And I was thinking, all right, I'll train outside for an entire year and then I'll get a building. That was my plan. But God told me, nah. And then it was 3 months before I, you know what I'm saying, got my own stuff.
oh
Yeah, it
wow.
was crazy. Like it was
Wow.
crazy how fast stuff started moving. We expanded 3 times. And so now at this point, I've stopped, worrying about the next thing. I just trust God. I don't even worry about
Right.
anything. Yeah,
I get that. I get that. So where you are now, you own your own gym, correct? You are the owner,
correct.
correct?
Sole owner.
So where you are right now, do you feel like you had support? And when I say support, I'm talking about from your inner circle, like those people that you grew up with and your family. Do you feel like from day one you had support, or did their support come much later down the line, if that question makes sense?
It does. I think support has levels,
Mm,
and people can sometimes think that they're supporting you,
mm-hmm,
um, and they'll give you advice, but you can only take people's advice with a grain of salt,
mm-hmm,
because as it pertains to your vision, God gives you answers to your tests. Certain stuff that he told them that he won't tell you, because your stuff belongs to you and their stuff belongs to them. So it was like my mom was telling me, baby, this is a great thing, but don't get no building until you see your first 100,000. At the time, I'd only made 12,000. But
mm-hmm.
I ended up listening to God, jumping in. I had to ignore my mom, so I'm standing in my grand opening, nervous as heck.
Wow.
Like, okay, God, I trusted you. That first year, I made $94,000 in a
Well,
small little
praise break.
1,400 square foot little small building. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Next year after that, I had to expand and get another place. After that year, I expanded again, and where we are now, 7,000 square feet, building with a full parking lot, 3 floors. It's crazy, man, and it's all debt free.
Mm. That
Man,
song keeps coming to mind.
this is my buddy here. This is Crystal. You know what, Crystal? I'm gonna give you his information too, because him and his wife have a great story too. And yeah,
Tell him I'll be reaching out to him.
yeah,
Absolutely will.
Darren, this young lady named Crystal Ross is gonna reach out to you guys. She has a platform she's building for visionaries, and it'll be dope for her to be able to talk to you guys. They're great people. They're
Awesome.
great people. He married a wonderful woman.
Awesome. I love that. Awesome. I love that.
Hold on, it's an interview. It's an interview. It's all good. My
That's,
bad. I forgot. But y'all could come in and chill.
that's so funny. I see your dog.
Yeah, that's my dog. That's Chase. That's
Chase.
Chase. Yep. Yep.
But you know what? That's awesome. And that's one of the things that kind of kept me following you on social media, because I'm in Georgia. And originally
Wow.
I said I was going to travel to your gym because I saw the results. I did see the results in the people working out with you. And I'm talking about phenomenal results, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I was watching that. But then when I started to read a lot of the things that you post, I noticed that number one, you always gave credit to God. But number two, you told the truth, but you told it in a way that gave people hope. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And a
Yeah.
lot of times I think we have good things to say, but the way we deliver it kind of makes the message get lost.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah.
I enjoy that about reading the things that you talk about and just kind of watching you. So with that being said, to kind of flip it off of your career, which you are a fitness trainer, you're a personal trainer, life coach, but
Yeah.
just as a young man, with everything that's going on now in our world, how do you keep yourself full of positive thoughts? And how do you keep that light burning within, considering all of the things that young men are having to face now, if that question makes sense?
Well, first thing in the morning is a period of just gratefulness. Like before I ask for anything or view what I don't have, I kind of look around and thank God for what I do have. And most times when you start like that, it kind of becomes hard to complain. The only time you're able to complain is when you forget to be grateful. Anytime you start with gratefulness, it removes the ability to complain, you know? So that's how it happens.
Yeah.
Positivity is not what I feel. It comes out like positivity, but what it is gratefulness.
Gratefulness.
It's not, because I don't always feel positive when I'm writing those things,
Mm-hmm.
but I write them from a disposition of gratefulness, if that makes any sense.
That makes sense, and I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. So let me ask you this: you have one child, correct?
Yeah.
You have. I see you're a son.
Right.
So let me ask you this: it's challenging raising kids because I have kids. It's challenging as a man. Oh, I thought I lost you. As a man, how do you keep your son from growing up fearful with all of the things that are going on, growing up not fearful but aware? How do you have those conversations with him? Because for me, my youngest is 11, and it's challenging sometimes to explain certain things to him. So do you have those conversations yet with your son that make him aware of what's really going on, but not in a sense that makes him fearful? Because my kids ask a lot of questions, so I'm just wondering, do you experience that also, and how do you deal with it?
As far as like what's going on with the climate with the coronavirus?
Yes, I don't want to say racism, but with the challenges just for being young African American men. Let me say.
No, I tell him every day. I tell my son every day, because my mom told me the same thing. She used to tell me, son, you're a black man in America, so you got to work harder, you got to do more, and it just is what it is, because complaining won't help. So don't. Get your butt up every single day, work harder than you did yesterday. So it's something that I instill now. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that I still remember, even myself, when I want to make decisions, because I ain't old, but you know what I'm saying? I ain't young. I'm in that little prime phase.
You are young, but go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? So even then, it's like always a voice in the back of my head, yo, before you do this or before you go there, before you accept this invite, you're a black man in America. Your rules are different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. You're right. That's something I had told my oldest. He's 17 and he's driving now, and he likes his music and everything. But I have had that same conversation with him that things are just different, and it's just different. So I appreciate that. Now, because I do know that you have company.
You're good.
And I don't want to keep you, but I want to ask you one more thing. Being a dreamer, and as I said, I dream big, and I'm the first one in my family to just really step out there for something like this. I find myself I'll be honest, I find myself getting discouraged sometimes because I feel like the cheers that I want to have, I don't have. And then last night it kind of came to me, if you're the only one cheering for yourself, just cheer louder. But I wanted to ask you though, how do you, what would you say to people that are big dreamers? When you said you sat back and you saw yourself, in this place that you're now in, you are where you're afraid to be. How do you speak to people that are just starting off as far as it relates to just the challenges that are going to come because they're inevitable? Just staying motivated and true to the vision, because there's a lot of personal trainers out there, you know.
So here's the thing. Don't feel the pressure to know it all at the beginning. Okay. One of the main issues that I find in new business owners or visionaries, period, is that most times we will think and dream so big that we think that we have to do everything that we see right now. No, it's like God operates like a GPS. It's turn by turn direction. So sometimes you won't be able to figure out the next step until you complete this one. That's how you do it. like anything else. Only do what he's telling you to do right now. Keep your ear to the ground. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can hear, you can see. That's how this go. It's like a dark room. The vision is a dark room, and it's hard to see. So most times you got to hear your way through it. We keep losing encouragement because of what we see, but he never told you to walk by sight. He never told you vision is to be heard.
Wow.
Write the vision and make it plain. Write what you heard.
Oh, wow.
Write the vision. In the beginning there was God, and all of that is vision. Write it and then make it plain.
Oh, that was powerful. I like that. That was good. That was good. Well, before I let you go, and I do appreciate you, talking to me, but before I let you go, I have one question. Now, this is funny, but I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
So I started this whole weight loss thing, right? And it's really not about the weight loss. It's really about a size that I want to to get to. And so I go to the gym and I, do things. I'm trying to do better. I know a lot of women that are trying to lose weight. And I remember I reached out to you last year and I was like, give me some advice. And I couldn't believe you responded because you didn't even know me. You just told me like foods to look out not to eat and things that would be good to eat. And you gave me really good advice.
Oh,
so I'm going to ask you this because I know a lot of women are going to be watching. We be struggling trying to lose weight. I'm just going to tell you, we be struggling. And that's my advice. How do you not get started? Because I don't have a problem getting started. I have a problem with staying on that journey because I guess it's back to what you said about seeing. Like I want to see my weight come off immediately and it doesn't work that way. So then I feel like either I'm doing something wrong in the gym or it's just not going to work for me. Now that's just me being very honest with you. And I know other people.
It's a patience problem.
Okay.
That's what it is. People have patience problems. We didn't eat a burger and gain 50 pounds. So we're not going to eat a salad and lose it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the same thing it takes to gain weight, it takes to lose it. Time and consistency of habit. Time and consistency of habit. If you keep eating like crap, over time, we get this. Okay? If you started to want, if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to like give it some time and give it consistent work ethic, a consistent habit. And our issue is that we will want the end result, but we don't want to suffer. We don't want to be sore. We don't want to give up. Anytime you really commit to change, change is tough. It's because the reason change is tough is because it's literally the new you taking the old you's place. But here's the thing. You like the old you, truth be told. That's why it's so hard to give up them habits. You know what you like, and you don't even know if you're going to really like this new thing. You just want to get your waistline down. So we want to get our waistline down, but we don't want what it costs. We keep just asking God for stuff that we ain't willing to work for. And that's why we either don't get it or we get it and we lose it because we are not really committed to change.
Well,
we just want to look like we did.
You're right. Well, don't be fussing at me.
No, that's America.
No, I'm just playing.
Everybody.
But you're right. But I got a question. I want to eat my salad and lose like at least 10 pounds from my first salad. I'm just
you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Look, I want to introduce you. I want to introduce you to Darren. This is Darren.
Hey, Darren.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give him one of the headphones. Look,
yes.
Can you hear? Darren and I are getting ready to create a mentorship for young men ages 8 to 18 to kind of help them with what we're talking about.
Awesome.
Kind of just stewarding vision and helping them cast it and give them some real direction so they don't have to start not knowing what credit is and, you know what I'm saying, start life not knowing how to tie a tie or balance a budget, to create an avenue to where our young Black men can have a real machine behind them as they go into the workforce. So I'm just going to let him talk for a minute because like birds of a feather, this guy